we're good. I'm going to just start this timer just in case. So we know. I'm going to crack a cold one up for the boys.
Oh, yeah. For the boys.
Yeah. Okay, here we go.
We can just talk to each other, facing each other, right?
Exactly. All right.
And
so
I have the option for this, actually, so
yeah,
that's fine.
we can share.
We can share. Yeah, that's my foot.
All right. So this is the Think With podcast, featuring JC Studios and Topher Curcio Marketing. Our man right there.
That's me.
This is episode 2 of our podcast, and we're going to be talking a little bit about audience today and what the hell that actually means.
Mm-hmm. Audiences.
But we wanted to start off the segment with a little concern that our friend Chris here has been having in his neighborhood. Maybe some of you guys could relate.
Yeah, that's reasonable. Thank you for reminding me, because I totally now feel unprepared again for this story. Keeping it short, I'm an animal lover, right? I have cats. Obviously, we see my logo, but I love all animals. Love dogs, even freaking bunny rabbits, whatever. What I don't care for is, because I know I live in a neighborhood where I can't be the smartest person in the world. My neighbors have to be intelligent too. I know they are. I know they're smart people with eyeballs. Well, you know, when you are walking your dog, if I had a dog, I wouldn't let them walk on a lawn that had just been sprayed with pesticides, fertilizer, TruGreen, basically. Not to, they're not sponsoring us. If they'd like to, they can, but I'm pro TruGreen. If I saw those signs,
Sponsor?
Yeah, I would have my dog avoid it, Mm-hmm. These people just let their dogs walk in it, roll around. They're literally, it's only bad for like 24 hours, I think. You spray the lawn, the signs go up, and I leave them on there a little bit longer. Usually I leave them on 48 hours just to give people a little extra time. Don't let your kids run through the yard. Like, it's not about my yard. It's about, I'm concerned for their safety. Same with dogs and stuff. Like, you see, there's a bunch of other yards and like side,
Yeah.
in our town, there's the sidewalk and then the grass in front. Let your dog roll around in that,
Mm-hmm.
There's so many other yards. Why do you they literally will walk by, let their dog just specifically stay in the yard when the signs are on, and just let them roll around, play, go to the bathroom. Like, you can piss in my yard any other day, or, go to the bathroom, whatever they have to do. But come on, it's not the dog's fault. Don't let them roll around in pesticides. Just crazy to me, man.
It is kind of silly. Like,
I don't get
why would you let your dog do that?
They're literally, this lady yesterday, her dog is just literally playing with the TruGreen sign, just like, like rolling around. And I'm just like, what are you doing? Like, do you even care about your animal? I don't know. I don't think so. But anyways, that's what it is. So thanks for letting me vent about it.
You know what? This is a safe space for everybody on this podcast.
Yeah, hopefully I'm not rocking in this chair too much, but
I mean, that's what it's meant to do.
I love rocking.
Yeah.
I do. But yeah, thank you for the safe space, and I'll let you kick things back off. I know we want to avoid technical terms, but I was just going to ask you, like, in college, did they ever call audiences like publics to you?
No.
Okay, that was like the term for us. It was like your audiences or your publics or your stakeholders. Maybe because I was a little bit more PR focused, that's what they would say, but it's just audiences. I was just curious, that's all.
Yeah. I guess it makes sense, Publix, but I think audience is like...
It's a grocery store.
That's true.
It makes sense. Yeah, so.
But
anything new with you, though? I didn't mean to throw you for a loop on that one.
No, I'll just cut it.
Yeah, no, what? Out of all the questions I could ask Jackson, that's...
What's new?
What's new?
Nothing really. I mean, I made a new song. That's kind of cool.
That's awesome.
Proud of that. And I've been reading a new book called Atomic Habits by James Clear. It's actually really interesting. Like, makes me think about, like, a lot of people, like, they want to get rid of their bad habits, but a lot of times they set goals for themselves instead of setting, like, realistic expectations. And they end up uprooting their habits that are ingrained to them.
Right.
Instead of saying, okay, what can I do to help how can I stack good habits on top of my habits I'm already doing?
Right.
So, like last night, it's called habit stack. I read about habit stacking, and I took note of like what I do every single night before I go to bed. I go upstairs, I make my dinner, I wash my dish, then I eat yogurt at night. I come down here, watch YouTube, and then I go upstairs, brush my teeth, come back down, and then I just go straight to bed or watch YouTube before bed. So instead of trying to change my entire routine, I say, okay, I do everything, and then right before bed, I do 20 push-ups.
Mm-hmm.
And I start integrating it into my workflow or into my routine already. And eventually, you trick your brain into thinking like, I associate doing this good habit with everything that I do already.
So the writing down of the habits is just to bring awareness to your like subconscious tendencies?
Essentially, yeah.
Okay. Because I was wondering, like, you can insert something. What is the purpose of writing it down? It makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, writing it down brings awareness to it.
Right.
I have no clue what I do. So
right. Creatures of habit, I mean, and
I'm sure I do the same thing every night.
Yeah. I think a lot of people do like same things every day. You just associate certain activities with certain actions, like a big thing. I'll cut most of this, but it's pretty interesting. Like
Leave it for the audio.
Yeah.
Be a good audio.
But he was talking about like cues, craving, response, reward.
Mm-hmm.
Like every time something happens, we're cued. And then our craving is to do something about the cue. Our response, like every time like I get stressed out about something, I crave food. And then my response is to go to the cupboard, grab a snack, and the reward's eating it.
Mm-hmm.
But once I notice the cue of I'm stressed out and I try to change my craving for whatever, like maybe going on a walk if I'm stressed out,
Mm-hmm.
then my response to that craving turns into a 5-minute walk instead of a bad habit, which is...
Yeah, instead of like smoking crack or something.
Right.
Don't do that. Right. I always get
Little
stressed
steps.
and I always grab a spoon and exactly.
And then get the lighter.
Right, yeah. So that's a good point. Atomic Habits, who's that by?
James Clear.
Okay.
It's over there in my book.
Nice
my bed.
plug again for James. So
Yeah, we'll tag him.
definitely.
Maybe he could help us out a little bit.
I would appreciate it. That'd be nice.
Mm-hmm. But anyway, yeah, that's what's new.
Cool.
I'll cut that down.
Yeah. Like I said, I be like our bonus for our Patreons and all our fun stuff on our Apple and Spotify.
Yeah, they'll have to pay to hear that.
Yeah, definitely. That's the bonus footage. We should cut out a lot of crap out of episode 1. If
Venmo request James Clear.
maybe our networking group can pay to hear that portion of it.
Yeah.
That'd be great. That extra, that'd be fantastic. All this stuff's good. But yeah, so I'll let you continue on with what you wanted to talk about, but appreciate it.
Yeah.
Segue.
All right, so kind of moving into the conversation about audience. Feel like it's been coming up a lot in like what I do recently, and a lot of what I've been hearing and reading from Joe Palizzi, Epic Content Marketing, and what an audience actually means. Because a lot of companies have like this idea that when they're making content or they want to market their brand, they're ready for something like that, that they just want to start doing something when they're making content. They just want to put something out there that they like to do.
Right.
And they often trap themselves into this burnout mode of, I need to make a ton of content for my company, instead of focusing on who they're making the content for. And I think when we look at, like, we often overlook audience and kind of put our interests first.
Right.
If we're going to pay for something, we want to like it. Like if I do a video or something, I want to do the company wants to have a video that they enjoy watching. But that's not the right answer. You have to have content that the viewer or the audience that you want enjoys watching.
Yeah.
And that's just something hard to get over. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's come up as much as probably it comes up in I mean, again, our companies are very similar anyways. So I guess because my company as a placement and a media buying company, the channels is what's determining. You know, obviously the audiences have already decided which channels they're on. So that comes up a lot, like which mediums to use to hit these right stakeholders.
Instagram.
Yeah, I think maybe, I don't know, you can tell me, but I feel like social, and I feel like Google kind of changes that a little bit, because if you think about it, like everybody exists on every audience exists on Google, right? So like socials, there's definitely more specific audience. I think we were using an example in our work meetings earlier about where you would sell like graduation gifts to. You know, you could use Instagram to get the eyeballs of like the audience that's going to be receiving the gift, obviously, but Facebook might be where the parents see the ads who are buying the gift. So Google, it's like they all exist, and then just determining the different channels to figure out, you know, what is the closest audience. Like, but you can't like fit a perfect audience. I think what you're more saying of is like you are going to work with the client to figure out, okay, what is that exact audience? Like if it fits perfectly in the Instagram box, then great.
Right.
If not, like you got to see, we're developing the content no matter where it goes to then hit the correct audience. Like the content is created for the audience.
Right.
I don't know if that makes sense, but.
No, I agree. I think that a lot of times people have 7 different audiences that they want to hit. And regarding content, it's not always the best move to do that all at once, because you start spreading yourself too thin with the different types of audiences you have, instead of trying to build a real reputation and a real, we'll call it community. I think that's an oversaturated term in content, but you really try to build something with a certain type of audience. You know, you're not trying, like, a good example, I talked to you about this last week. There was this guy who wanted to get chickens. Right? He wanted to get chickens for his house, and he asked his wife if he could have them, and she said yeah. So he brought them home, but he didn't know a damn thing about chickens.
Right.
And I mean, like most people. So he was like, okay, how can I get these chickens not to die? And this was at like 2005 or something like that, where the internet was still in its, we'll call it early stages.
Yeah.
And there wasn't much information on how to take care of your own chickens.
Social was definitely in its infancy.
Yeah.
I think that's the year Google took over YouTube or.
Right. So there was like really nothing, right? And so, okay, he's like, well, I need to learn about this myself. And he took it upon himself to go to library and research things, call his buddies. I think he lived in like Illinois or something, so he knew farmers and whatever. And he really just built a library of knowledge for himself on how to raise chickens. But okay, a couple weeks go by and he knows how to raise chickens now. He knows, you know, when they're babies, you do this, and you know, to get them to grow into fully producing chickens, you do that.
Right.
Right. So instead of just going back to his house and raising the chickens, he had an idea of, well, I bet you that there's other people like me who have no idea how to raise chickens, right? So he took it upon himself to start talking about it, and he started making newsletters, and he started making a weekly podcast that started out as nothing. It was just him talking about like chickens and things like that, like how to take care of them, what to feed them, blah, blah, blah. Well, 10 years later, or however often, like a decade later, he now has 30,000 people a week listening to his chicken podcast.
Good.
So all that being said, is that if there's a specific audience out there for chickens, there's an audience out there for anybody. Really. So, but it's all about consistency. If you can't just make one piece of content and expect it to bring you business,
Right?
You know, and build a reputation around, you know, that you know what you're talking about. If you make 2 pieces of content, you build a reputation, you build credibility by showing the effort into making a library of content of your knowledge.
Right.
And then this guy got 30,000 people to listen to him about chickens, you know?
It's incredible.
There's way more important things.
Yeah, but it's like that specific interest, like there's enough sample size. That is amazing. Because that's, like you said, that's before a time where, I mean, content creation is like everything now, you know. Again, not to trying to avoid some more technical terms, but they're not too technical. You know, owned media. You know, we have our paid media. We know that's all advertising. We have our
Like traditional.
yeah. Well, yeah, or it could be digital too. We have oops, sorry. Sorry everybody. We have our earned media, which is our public relations, getting that journalist to do that story about our company or whatever. But owned media, it was like back in the day, all that meant was oh yeah, like Disney owns ABC and ESPN, so if they're running you know, an ad for a Marvel movie on ESPN, well, are they really paying for it? Because they own that entity anyways, right? Now it's like owned media is like totally different. Like everyone's got their own like digital, you know, phone book of their Google business page, you know, on Google. Everyone's got their listing. Everyone's got their website. Everyone's got their own YouTube channel. And you're like creating, now you may not own YouTube, but it acts like owned media where it's like, the difference between the other two that I said, there's barriers of entry. You got to pay to have your company on paid media. You got to do some type of work, labor to get your story up there through a journalist, through earned media. Now, if we determine those audiences that you're talking about, the chicken audience, we can directly go right to that audience with our own source material now. Our own, almost like our own IP, our own branding. Like, it doesn't matter the channel they're on. You know those chicken people are out there, right? So we know there's 30,000 chicken people. Let's find them, you know?
Right.
Don't try to stuff it in a box like the channels that I talked about. Like, find out where are those chicken people?
Right. You got, you know, someone like you has the tools to figure out that, you know, we have like a people gathering over here around this information. So that sparks like how to make, what content to make to attract those people to come to that business, right?
Right. Well, and people wonder, like, why is Reddit like one of the best SEO tools? Well, think about what that platform is built around. Literally, I think the slogan when it was first built, maybe it still is you can find anything on here. There's literally a channel for everything. So like you wonder why there's such a connection between Reddit and crawlbots and SEO. Like, it's because the topics are incredible and people can use that medium to find any topic, specifically people that care. I am on Reddit in a group follow Everybody Loves Raymond, you know, on Reddit. Like, just that's all people do and talk about Everybody Loves Raymond. I'm sure the chicken guy is somewhere over there, you know. Right. I'm sure people talk about him. Like, that's all.
But I think that, like, regarding the actual content that people see, the stuff that people interact with is stuff that speaks to someone, makes them feel something. Like, I just watched a YouTube video last night, and this guy was saying that he did kitchen videos or restaurant videos, and he would do like really sexy videos of like the food at the restaurant.
Oh baby. Wow.
Oh baby. But like, you know, really like great video. But he would only get like, you know, I'm not about like views and everything, like but he said that's not what people want to see. They want to see like who's behind making that meal.
Oh, right. Yeah, absolutely.
They want to see like where but to relate it back to what you were saying about the Reddit community, people interact with posts that they can relate to.
Right.
Right?
There's nothing sexy about a Reddit post, right?
Right.
The people posting it, half of them are bots anyways. But yeah, that's a good point. So the people, yeah, like I think that is what most people want. Like, it's less about, and it doesn't mean like we make poor quality content.
No.
It's not like JC Studios isn't going to make an amazing product video too. But it's not just about the product. Like, we want to see who the heck is that owner? Who is that person that's created this business? Like,
You could go to any accountant. You could go to any bookkeeper or anything like that, and they all do the same thing. And we kind of talked about this in the last podcast with AI and whatever, but the difference between the companies is the reputation and who's behind the computer or who's behind who's in the kitchen. You know, who's making that meal.
Do you ever pay, maybe not, do you ever pay for something that's slightly more expensive than a competitor? Oh, you know what? Let me ask you this. Where do you get your coffee?
Oh, yeah. Cafe Sasso, Shoutout.
Yeah, there you go. Okay, can you get coffee here cheaper?
Absolutely.
Can you get coffee at Wegmans cheaper?
Yeah.
We love Wegmans, right? Why do you go to Sasso?
Because the way it makes me feel.
There you go. Yeah.
I talk to the owner, you know.
Right. Who you have a relationship with now.
She calls me JC.
There you go, JC. Oh my goodness. Oh, that's crazy. No, I'm glad you did cut that. No, that's a really good point though, because like Sasso's not the most expensive coffee house. And I apologize for our major national audience here listening. That is a specific coffee house here in Rochester, New York. So
Park
shout out.
Ave.
Yeah, exactly. Which I think most people out of the area would enjoy those places more. But yeah, it's not the most expensive coffee house, but it's definitely not the cheapest. And it's about the feeling of going to Park Ave, the food, the service, the people, and the quality of a true coffee house. Right. You know.
And apply those principles to like a boring industry or like the narrative that surrounds it that's boring.
Yeah, no offense, accounting, you're boring. I mean, that's what it is.
It's just what it is.
We're not even going to talk about the bankers. So.
Right.
That's great.
But people don't know the importance of like what accounting is, what it can actually do. You know, like when I first opened a business and stuff, and I'm still learning, like, people just don't know about these things. People don't know about the like any of the terminology that we talk about, you know, and that's why talking to a specific audience that you're trying to please to or play to, is important. You know, it's important to know who you're talking to. You wouldn't talk to a fifth grader the same you would talk to like a PhD scholar.
Yeah,
right.
Definitely not.
So. Not calling people who don't know what we do 5-year-olds.
No. But like there are industries where like an accountant would have to explain something to me like a 5-year-old because I don't know what they're talking. Just go do what I'm paying you for. But you're right. Like I do wonder like what's the balance of actually genuinely them caring about me giving them business, and then also that is just. They're just good at that. They know that that's what people play off, like emotional feel. Because like banking or accounting, like the margins are very slim. Like you said, a lot of those people do the same thing. You know, there's like if you're getting commercial lending, you're fighting on an interest rate for your business at like 0.01% difference. Like, so what would be the reason you would go to a different banker? Well, it would be the personality. It'd be like, you know, do they take the time to care, make you feel, or actually that they actually care about your business? I don't, you know, that must be the only reason, you know, I don't know.
Well, ESL, like a local bank here, like it's another bank.
We both use ESL, by the way, so, you know.
But like, it's just another bank or something like that. But they do a lot that they don't need to do for the community. You know, they do... I know one of the managers at the branch, you know, because she's part of our networking group. But, you know, when I go in, they actually care about me. They, one of the workers brought me a glass of water and stuff. And
Jeez.
ESL.
Yeah, they don't do that. No, they're really good. Yeah, they're fantastic to me.
Especially for a local bank. I thought it was like a national bank for a long time until like...
Because we're from Rochester.
Right.
And they owned everything.
Yeah.
I mean, Kodak influence of anything, so.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
All right, so that wraps up our second podcast episode about how the audience matters in marketing. So join us next time. Not sure what we're going to talk about yet, but it's going to be something good, so don't miss out. Peace. Is that good?
Yes.
All right.
Fantastic.